Welcome back to the Paul Watson Project. I'm your host, Walker Bruns. We've got an exciting show for you. We're going to be looking ahead to Week 5's matchups. At this point in the season, we're about a third of the way to the playoffs. You know what your team is. Is it what you want it to be? That's the question. And if it's not, what adjustments are you going to make? Before we get too far into today's show, let's take a quick look back at Week 4's quick hits. Over to you, Jake.
Quick hits of the week.
Thank you, Walker Bruns, and welcome to Quick Hits. Let's hop right in. Quick hit number 1 of the week, the biggest blowout of the week, coming from yours truly, Connor and Sound, beating Acid Playground by 43.66 points. Quick hit number 2 of the week, the closest victory, may also be one of the biggest upsets from last week, going to Cool Runnings, beating Eckler, I hardly even knew her, by 3 points. Well done, Zach. Which brings me to best move of the week. We all saw it coming, going to Zach Tinsley for the second time in 3 weeks, rolling the dice with a random pickup, Josh Reynolds, the night before, picking him up, putting him in his lineup, scoring the most fantasy points on his team, 17.6 points. Well done, Zach. The come on man of the week, quick hit number 4 goes to none other than Jonathan Taylor. You heard me right, with 3 targets, 20 touches, scoring 2.8 points. The dude was outscored by Ashton Dullen, Khalil Shakir, Ben Shalronik, Cade Ottman. I may be mispronouncing these names. I have no idea, but I'm not making it up. Jonathan Taylor, come on, man. All right, guys. Our top fantasy performers of the week. Maybe some surprises here. The QB of the week, Jared Goff with 34.22 points. The running back of the week goes to Josh Jacobs with 32.6 points. Our wide receiver, best wide receiver of the week, Mike Evans with 26.3 points. And our best tight end of the week, which is also surprisingly the best fantasy player from Week 4, TJ Hawkinson with 35.9 points. Fellas, it was a good Week 4. Looking forward to Week 5. And this has been your Quick Hits.
Thank you, Jake, for those quick hits. Now that we've taken a look back at Week 4's highlights, let's go ahead and start transitioning into our look forward into Week 5. This week's guest that's going to be joining me is Austin Stouffer. We're going to be diving into each of the matchups, of course, but before we do that, let's go over to our chief analyst, Travis Stouffer, for an overview of this week's Power Rankings. Over to you.
Thank you, Walker, and welcome back to another edition of our Power Rankings. This week, Week 5, starting out with
Number 6.
Connor and Sound versus Roger Goodell. Number 3 in the league versus number 12 in the league. So far this season, Jake Bellwood is the number 1 scoring fantasy team in the league, and Nick is not the number 1 scoring fantasy team in the league. But could a midseason trade change everything? Or are the wheels already off for Roger Goodell?
Number 5, Oh Fill My Cup versus Cool Runnings. Number 1 versus number 7. Zach versus Rob in the Midget-in-Law Bowl. Rob has been dominating the league so far this season and off to a 4-0 start. Zach, not so much. But can a close win from last week inspire change and confidence in his squad? We're getting ready to find out. Number 4, Team Lamar versus Cam $47 Acres. Number 2 versus number 4. Jake Bozier versus Travis Stouffer. Now, Jake's probably felt a little bit like a banjo this last week or two because everybody's been picking on him. But here he is, ready for the last laugh. Ranked 4th in the league, a top 5 scoring team so far for the season. A win here would do him wonders. Number 3, Say My Name versus Prison Mike. Number 9 versus number 11. Zach Lane versus David Smith. Both of these teams are 1-3, so I call this one the Bellwood Bowl, because whoever loses is going to be 1-4, and start getting those trade texts from Jake that say, hey man, you can keep this guy for $1 next season though. Who's going to keep their season alive, boys? Number 2, Acid Playground versus Not My Chubby. The new Ryan versus Walker. 5 versus 6. Whoever wins this matchup is going to end up in the top 4 for the playoff hunt, while the loser is faced with an uphill battle with a crazily crowded playoff field behind them. Who's it going to be?
And number 1, Cobra Kyler versus Eckler
I hardly even know her. Both these teams are 1-3. Here's what that means. Somebody's season is effectively over after this week, period. I don't want to hear about it. 1-4, you're not coming back. It's done. Here's the story. Alex won his first game of the season on a 3-game skid. Austin is actually the 4th highest scoring team in the league, but he's still 1-3. This matchup matters more than any other matchup this week because someone's season is over.
Well, I don't know about you, but after that, I sure am excited about this week's games. Let's go ahead and jump in and look at the analysis of each game. Please welcome my guest, Austin Stouffer, to the show.
All right, Austin. Well, welcome to the Paul Watson Project. It's good to see you. Glad to have you on. I do have a question for you before we get started.
Always great to be here, Walker. Always great to be here.
Yeah, pleasure. So you're 1-3 on the season. You've had a lot of tough losses. It seems like every year you get the tough losses. You score a lot of points, but the other team just seems to score more. Are you going the baseball manager approach where, if a guy's in a rough patch, but he seems like he's hitting the ball well, you don't change the lineup, you just keep it going? Or what's your strategy here? What's your thoughts?
No, I think that's a great excuse for me to make, of course, and I thank you for giving me that excuse. But ultimately, my team, we're really flying under the radar, and we've taken that to heart to the point that we might fly so far under the radar that we may not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's always the balance, right? But I think your team's great. I think you're going to make a push to the playoffs, and I think it starts this week for you, and you're going to go on a roll. The rising tide lifts all ships here. So I don't even know if that analogy works for that, but hey, we went with it. So let's start off here with our number 6 matchup of the week. We got Connor and Sound versus Roger Goodell. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
Well, I'll tell you what, Connor and Sound, this team, they can score, and I expect nothing less. For Bellwood to be the next level, we really got to rely on Dalvin Cook to find that magic again. If Dalvin Cook can find that magic, the sky's the limit for this team. Roger Goodell, this team can't score, and I expect nothing less as well. The big question is this Mark Andrews trade really just a death sentence? Tune in next week and we'll find out. But ultimately, this week, man, we'll give our picks at the end here, but I just think Jake's teams are really good. They score a lot of points. He's got a lot of avenues to get those points. And Roger Goodell, when you look at that team, you think, man, it could be good, but it just doesn't pan out. And I just don't understand why. I hate to see it, but also love to see it.
Yeah, well, when you're a multi-time champion, I don't think people mind when you're not winning. When I look at Connor and Sound, like you said, Josh Allen hasn't had a bad game yet. This team hasn't had a bad game yet. The question is, will this team ever have a bad week? I look at Roger Goodell. Is Russell Wilson back? I think that really that's the big question for him, if he can get Russell Wilson going like he has been throughout his career. Well, let's move on to the number 5 matchup. We've got Cool Runnings versus Oh Fill My Cup.
Looking at this team on paper from the Yahoo projections, it looks to be almost dead even matchup. 50%, 50%. It's less than a point differential between the teams. It should be a heck of a matchup. It really should be. Looking forward to that one and seeing what ends up happening. Oh Fill My Cup. Is this the most talented team since Mark Jones and the 9 Denver Broncos he had? I don't know. This team is head and shoulders above the rest as far as talent across the board. It's unreal and it's borderline unfair. How do we even let this happen? I'm not sure. Could it be collusion with Roger Goodell? I don't know. Could be under the table stuff going on. Big question for me with Cooper Cups, Oh Fill My Cup, is Miles Sanders. Is he going to make last week's performance a trend, or is that really just going to be an outlier? We'll see. If he can do that, this team's going to be untouchable, and I don't see them losing the game the rest of the year. Cool Runnings, 2 letters, J.K. J.K. Rawlings, Dobby Dobbins could be the difference in this matchup. If he can find that magic like he did this past week, Cool Runnings could see himself coming out here with a win, a big upset win too, considering how good Rob's team really is. The other call-out I have for Cool Runnings is Derek Carr. The dude, he's a good Christian man. He's very, very philanthropic out there with the people out in Las Vegas. I really like the guy, but can he get more than 20 points in a game? I don't know. We'll see. They got KC coming up. Kansas City is kind of hit or miss as far as that defense, but right now that defense could be pretty solid this year, and that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing from Colin Cowherd, Ryan Russillo, all my podcasts. That's what I'm hearing. So could be tough, but if we can get Derek Carr to get some points and J.K. Dobby Dobbins finds that magic, could be a win for Cool Runnings.
Yeah, Carr might be a good Christian man, but I've heard he's been missing Sunday afternoon services, so that might be affecting his gameplay there. When I look at Cool Runnings, it's a team. It's sitting at 2-2, but then you think about it exactly like you said. J.K. Dobbins comes back. He could just plug him right into that lineup, and it makes all the difference to how many points he's going to score week in and week out. Moving over to Ophel Cup, I mean, you brought out one of the classic teams from the past history, that Mark Jones team. I mean, if you're comparing to that, you can just see how good this team is. A team that continues to lean on its stars. It's got Lamar Jackson, Cooper Kupp, and he could just continue to have big weeks every single week. Well, moving on to our number 4 matchup, Team Lamar versus Cam $47 Acres.
Looking forward to this matchup. We got some longtime friends here with Bozier and my brother. Now they're mortal enemies on the gridiron. Hamilton Heights versus Zionsville. Great jokes versus bad jokes. You can decide who's got what. But it's gonna be a great matchup to see. I really do think it's gonna be a close one for whoever wins. It's gonna be a nail biter. Might come down to the last game on Monday night. Team Lamar, we got Mahomes, AJ Brown, DJ Metcalf having a resurgence here. Looks like our boy Geno Smith is really coming along as far as getting those points up for his guys, and Metcalf seems to be that number 1 guy for him. So be on the lookout for that. Metcalf can have a real good game. Mahomes keep it up, and A.J. Brown just be consistent with this dominant performance by the Eagles that they've had so far this year. Team Lamar is looking pretty tough. It's hard to believe. It's hard. I have a hard time saying it, but I do think that's the case. As far as $47, you got Debo, you got Diggs, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Dude, I don't know what's going on. Is that guy fact or fiction? Right now I'm thinking fact. I'm loving it. It's making me want to be a Chiefs fan, even though the Eagles are 4-0. Man, that team is good. They really are good. There's no doubt why they're 4-0. Could they become 5-0? I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of toss-ups in the air for this game, but I think it is going to be a great one to watch.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Looking at Team Lamar here, this is a team that's easily overlooked, but it should not be underestimated. This is a good team here. Any given week, Mahomes can just explode and carry this team, put them over the top. Maybe not the deepest team, but definitely a team to look out for. Then looking over at Cam $47 Acres, I mean, you've got his $47 player pretty much riding the bench, but he's still putting out wins. You've got to appreciate the homerism this week. I see Tom Brady in the starting lineup. I feel like this might be a hope play, but we'll see if it pans out. Seeing CEH and Jeff Wilson in the starting lineup, I asked myself, how is this team undefeated? You said this team is good, but I asked myself, how can you win with those 2 running backs in your starting lineup? Well, hey, if you're winning, you're winning. It doesn't matter how you do it. Let's move on to our number 3. Moving to the top 3 matchups here. Say My Name versus Prison Mike.
It's another, I think it's the first 1 and 3 matchup. Those games are so important right now. This is really kind of a battle to get back to the middle of the pack or be a bottom feeder. Really important match. Say My Name, one of the greatest dramas in history versus Prison Mike, one of the greater comedies out there as far as TV shows are concerned. The names alone create a great matchup here. I can't get enough of that. Keep it coming, guys. Say My Name, Allen Robinson may not be the play. You might have to find somebody else to start. But hey, you never know. Keep riding them. That's what I'm doing, and it may just work out. Justin Herbert, his brother, Khalil Herbert, is on this team. Real nice piece. They must have been adopted or something. I'm not really sure. Great piece there. Kind of a surprise. Didn't really expect that, but he's throwing up some consistent floor numbers, and I'm seeing potential for a nice high ceiling coming here in the next, maybe this week. The bench, though, man, got to get healthy quick. That bench has got to get healthy, or else Say My Name's going to be in trouble coming late season. Now, Prison Mike, you got JJ the Jet plane. Jalen, what hurts the most? Olave, I don't know anything that rhymes with that, but that's a good team, man. How are they 1-3? I don't know. I really don't know. You look at this matchup, look at this team. Prison Mike looks like he should win, but man, there's a lot going on, and we'll come to our picks here later on. But I really do like this matchup. I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I have to agree. I look at this matchup, and on paper, I actually think this might be the game of the week. We'll see. You look at Say My Name. It's a team that after the draft, you looked at it, and you might sort of have laughed at it and said, there's no way this team even stands a chance versus Prison Mike. But he has crawled his way and worked his way into having a team that you just got to watch out for week in and week out, and it seems to be improving every week. I see a huge week from Burrow this week. I think he's going to go over 30 points, and you heard it here first, a 20-point game from Raheem Mostert. Yes, I said Raheem Mostert with a 20-point game. You heard it here first, folks. Now, looking at Prison Mike, Boomer Bust Squad, JJ, he scored like 4 points, and then he could score 30 points. Like, what is that all about? Can they get enough output at the positions to go back-to-back wins here? We're about to find out if this team is as good as we all thought it was at the beginning of the season. All right, number 2, we've got Acid Playground versus Not My Chubby.
This is a really important matchup, 5 versus 6. This can really help push one of these teams up into that top tier, maybe in the top 4 spot. Really, really important to get this win here. Really start to solidify the playoff picture early on in the season. Looking forward to this one. Acid Playground, Not My Chubby. As far as Acid is concerned, got to get this QB situation figured out. Got to find some consistency there. Got to try to get some 20-point games out of your guys, whoever you're going to start, what you're going to do. And can Jonathan Taylor Thomas return to former glory? I'm not talking about the running back. I'm talking about the actor from Home Improvement. But you never know. You never know. I hear he's living a nice life with all of his money that he's made off the TV show and the royalties, and I hope he's doing well. CD, is he able to overcome the MP3 player? I don't know. But also, I'm just not quite sold on this team yet. Still have a lot to see. I need to get some more data on paper. I think it's a good team, but I'm just not quite sure. As far as Chubby, this team's attitude is unmatched. Absolutely unmatched. Their manager, second to none in game planning and overall preparation. He's got Herbert, Chubb, Evans is back. This team is looking good. So look out for this group come this week. It's going to be a fun one. I think there's going to be a lot of points on the table.
Love the breakdown there. I look at Acid Playground. It's a team averaging the least amount of touchdowns in the league. Where can this manager get touchdowns? And, of course, he's the worst when it comes to passing yards average in the league. Going up against a team and Not My Chubby, who actually is averaging the most passing yards in the league week in and week out, and the most rushing yards in the league. This team is up there when it comes to yards. I think he might be struggling with touchdowns a little bit as well, but not like my team is. I think Chubb actually slows down a bit this week, but Fournette replaces what Chubb's been doing and just goes off against the Falcons this week. And that brings us to our number 1 matchup, which includes yourself. It's Eckler. I hardly even know her versus I thought we were going to get Kyler. I barely know her. But instead, we get a name change right when the two face off. It's Cobra Kyler.
Cobra Kyler. Man, that really hurt my feelings. I was really appreciating the form of flattery there from Alex, really appreciating the joke that I had all last year, and he decided he wanted to do the same. Sounds kind of like a Dane Cook move, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Hey, JBM, are you... Oh, never mind. He's back off the... I guess we'll talk to him later. But Kyler, yeah. I like what this team could be. I really do. But Pitts has to find a way, or this might be a long season for this team. If he can't get that tight end spot solidified and start getting 10-plus points every week, playoffs may not be in Alex's team's future. Pittman, they got to feed that guy in Indianapolis. I don't know why they aren't. Matt Ryan, as you know all too well, he just can't get it done anymore, man. He's just not in him. It's just not in him. That could change
He's a
this
washed up
week, but
bum.
I just don't see it. And then of course you got Kyler. He's just a solid 20-plus guy. He's going to get you your points, and he's a fun watch. So there's some things about this team. Could be a good team, but I'm very hesitant. As far as Eckler's team, this team is boom or bust. All right, you could have an awesome week, and you can kind of have a dud week. Luckily, he's got Kelsey, who remains a constant. That kind of keeps him in the mix every single week. But ultimately, this team is just not quite sure what you're going to get out of them, especially Cooper, boomer bust. McLaurin's kind of been a boomer bust. But it appears that I'm going to continue to ride those guys and Eckler boomer bust. But I'm going to ride this team to the death because I believe in these guys, and I think they'll find that consistency. Still waiting on Kirk Cousins. That big year we've been talking about. Colin Cowherd was real bullish on that in the offseason. Hoping that's going to show up for me. And then old scary Terry McLaurin really needs to show up. It looks like that may not be the case. I don't know. This Washington team's really in trouble. So
I look at Cobra Kai. I see Lazard in the starting lineup. I see Ramondre Stevenson in the starting lineup. That seems like a team that can't win on any given week. But then I look at the matchup, and it comes down to the QB. We look at Kirk Cousins on your end. He has not had a week where he has gone over 20 points. Can he get that done this week? I like your chances if that does happen. This is really the difference maker for you, Kirk Cousins, just getting those extra points, getting in that 20 range. But also A.J. Dillon. I think he scores a touchdown this week and really helped your cause there. Well, hey, Austin, appreciate you joining. We're going to go to our chief analyst, bring on Travis Stouffer. I think he runs in your family here. Bring him on, and let's make our picks. All right, Travis, well, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. Looking forward to seeing your picks again this week. I saw last week you went 5-1. That puts you up to 14-10 on the season, leading the way. We've got myself at 13-11, Yahoo batting 500 at 12-12. And our guests were kind of let down by Ryan last week. They're now sitting at 10-14. Austin, looking for you to bring the guest picks back up to par. But hey, let's go ahead and jump into our picks for the week. Starting off with the number 6 matchup, Connor and Sound versus Roger Goodell. Yahoo has this one as a Connor and Sound victory. Austin, who you got?
Man, I got a New York Giants insider. They gave me the game plan for this week. Let's just say it looks like bubble screens only. So Saquon Barkley's going to have a big week, going with Roger Goodell. Squeaks one out.
Wow. No way. Connor and Sound wins soundly. It's over, commish.
Have to agree there. Connor and Sound takes this one, knocks the commissioner out of the running. No way he's coming back from a 1-5 start. All right, let's move on to the number 5 matchup. Cool Runnings versus Oh Fill My Cup. Yahoo has this one, not surprisingly, as an Oh Fill My Cup victory. Austin, who you got?
All right, Rob's team, super talented, full of a lot of tricks, a lot of gimmicks though, and silly Robert, tricks are for kids. I'm going with Cool Runnings by 90.
By 90?
Just kidding. They get 90, and it's 90-89.
Man, I can't. Cool Runnings had a good one last week, but Oh Fill My Cup, too much there. Stays undefeated. Rob all the way.
Yeah, it looks like a clean sweep on this one. Rob's team has been tough to beat, and I think will continue to be so. I've got Oh Fill My Cup. And this one, moving up the ladder here to number 4, Team Lamar versus Cam $47 Acres. Yahoo has it as a Cam $47 Acres victory. Austin, over to you.
This is actually a battle of the kickers, Carlson versus Koo. No Koo for you. Team Lamar with the close win.
Oh, you can't talk about Koo like that. I got this. I don't know who's playing running back, but my wide receivers are rock solid. And the GOAT is, he has less to worry about nowadays. I think Brady has a big week.
I'm going with Austin here. Team Lamar all the way. Jake Bozier pulls out a victory. This is my upset of the week, and I'm 2-0 on my upset of the weeks. All right, let's go to Say My Name versus Prison Mike. Austin, who's going to win this one?
Well, looking at this is a really important matchup. I think Walt finally gets what he deserves, and the sky's the limit for Prison Mike. Going to go with Prison Mike, and he gets the dub.
Yeah, I'm taking Prison Mike here as well. The paper is too heavy for them, unless Tyreek Hill has 2 or 3 long touchdowns. I like Prison Mike.
I think I forgot to mention Yahoo also really likes Prison Mike in this matchup. But you know who doesn't like Prison Mike in this matchup? That's me. David Smith's worked hard to get this team where it is today. He pulls out an upset. That's 2 upsets in a row for me. Say My Name wins this one. And I don't even think it's really that close. All right, let's go to the number 2 matchup. Acid Playground versus Not My Chubby. Yahoo says Not My Chubby's got this one. Austin, who do you think's got it?
This one comes down to the tight ends. Neither one is a premier tight end, but I think ultimately whichever tight end has the most points is going to win this game. And I'm going to say Not My Chubby edges it out for the win.
I'm actually looking at Garrett Wilson versus Isaiah McKenzie here. I think that's what it comes down to, is that flex position. I'm going Not My Chubby. The new Ryan is a whole different man. I think this he might run the table.
Yeah, interesting analysis there. You say not a premier tight end, but hey, one guy's tight end did go to this institute right here. It's not a university. But I'm going to do this for the first time this year. I think Acid Playground wins it. My team wins this one. Ryan, he might be a new guy. He might have all the momentum going for him. Hey, he's going up against a guy who tries to win this thing every year instead of just for a couple weeks. So good luck this week, Ryan. The number 1 matchup, we've got Cobra Kyler versus Eckler. I hardly even know her. Yahoo says Eckler, I hardly even know her, is going to win this number 1 matchup. Austin, who do you think's got it?
Man, it's a tough pick. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Cobra Kyler and Eckler, I hardly know her. We're just such a boomer bust group. But I tell you what, man, I am still not a fan of alcoholic beverages, and I'm still not a fan of this matchup for Cobra Kyler. We're going to go with Eckler. I hardly even know her.
Yes. This is almost a I hardly even know her bowl until Alex changed his name. I'm going with I'm going with Eckler here. This team is studly. I like Eckler again. I like Kelsey too much. Austin wins this one.
Yep, have to agree with the panel here. Eckler, I hardly even know her. He doesn't win. Whenever he does win, it's in big fashion. He can't win the close one. This one's in big fashion. He gets the W. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining me. Enjoyed going through the picks with you. Hope you have a good week out there.
Well, that wraps up our show. As always, I'd like to thank our guests, Austin Stouffer, Travis Stouffer, and Jake Bellwood. And I look forward to this week's games. Hope to see you again soon.